Do you wonder how people get scholarships? Come with me, let me quench your thirst. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the love and support. We are already at 1,000 subscribers. Yeah! So guys, as I had mentioned in my introductory vlog, that guiding people on securing scholarship will be one of my themes. Today I'm back with a scholarship vlog. Today marks the beginning of my scholarship agenda theme. And scholarship theme is too huge to be covered in one video. So I'm planning to do this in different agendas. My first agenda is to just let people know that scholarship opportunities exist. And in this agenda, I'm going to do it in 3 parts. The first part is the video that I'm doing today, which will mainly focus on the general steps on securing a scholarship. In the second video, I'm going to incorporate scholars from different scholarships who are coming to share their scholarship journey. And the third video will be a question and answer, which is a Q&A vlog, which will entail questions from this video and the second video. I'm going to prepare my Q&A vlog by collecting all the questions and distributing to all the scholars or participants. Then we're going to brainstorm together and bring solutions to all your scholarship doubts. As I had mentioned in my previous video that I'm a DAAD scholar, which is a German-based scholarship that is sponsoring students to study in Germany and the rest of the world, there are some things that I did that led to winning this scholarship. I hope that on sharing this, you'll also have a successful application. Let's get to it. During my search, I came up with 6 steps that I believe will be of help to you. Step 1. You need to be conversant with the things that will lead to a successful application. And these include minimum academic qualification. You need to have a clear vision of what you want to pursue. You need to know why you want to pursue that particular course. And you also need to have future career plans in terms of what you want to do after your studies. After being conversant with the things that will lead to successful application, you go to step 2, which is where. You need to decide where you want to pursue your studies in terms of the country and the university. Here, you need to do a lot of Google searching and identify at least 5 to 10 universities that are offering a course of interest. You also need to Google search and have an overview of the scholarships that are being offered in that particular university. This will help in the sense that you won't end up applying to universities that you ain't even sure they have scholarship opportunities. There's a small variation whereby some people will prefer researching on available scholarship opportunities, since most scholarships will state all universities in collaboration with it. After deciding where you want to pursue your studies, we now go to step 3, which is doing enough research on admission application procedure to university of interest. Here you need to take note of the requirements, and I'm going to state the requirements first, then I'll explain them one by one. Admission application requirements include minimum academic qualification requirements, statement of purpose, reference letters, exam tests such as GRE and English tests, application fees, concept note, and supervisors from the host university. So let me explain them. I'll start with minimum academic qualification. In most cases, second class upper division is the minimum requirement. The second requirement is statement of purpose or a motivational letter. One thing you need to note is an outstanding statement purpose gives you a plus when it comes to admission application. And I'm going to explain the points that you'll need to cover so as to come up with an outstanding statement of purpose. And these include, you first clearly need to state your vision in terms of what you want to pursue. You also need to clearly state why you want to pursue that particular course. And always you should clearly show that your study is going to contribute to the community by addressing existing challenges or solving a problem in your society, your nation, or even worldwide. Also, your statement of purpose should clearly state your future career plans. There should be a connection between your anticipated studies and your future career plans. For example, someone intending to pursue food science and technology course can say that, after completing my studies, I'll set up an incubation center that will help train people on food fortification, which will help curb macro and micronutrient deficiencies. Another thing you need to capture is why that particular university. You need to convince them as the best university that will bring your goals into realization. The third requirement is reference letters. Reference letters are supposed to be as specific as possible to you. Most reference letters are done directly by your referees on the university websites. And despite of the confidentiality required, you can always talk to your referees and tell them what you'd like to be captured in the reference letters. Another thing, you should always tell them the strongholds that you believe will boost your application. You should never lie to your referees. That's a mistake most of us do. Never lie to your referees. Another thing, most professors are so busy, so just send them your CV, your transcript, and an MSc template letter to make work easier. The fourth requirement is exam tests such as English tests and GRE exams. GRE exams are mostly required by US universities. English tests include TOEFL, ELTs, among others. For English tests, I can say it's always dependent on university. The requirements vary from university to university. There are some universities in UK which will waive your English test if you provide an English proof. And this can be done by a letter from your university stating that all your studies were done in English. The fifth requirement is application fees. Some universities will charge application fees, and mostly universities in the US will do this. And I believe they always do this so as to prevent non-serious people from applying. Just as I had mentioned, PhD students have additional requirements, and this is concept notes. Concept notes will show that they have conducted a preliminary literature review and established a gap which the proposed study aims to fill. Another thing is the supervisors from the host universities. Here, you need to do a thorough search on the university websites and identify staff members whose research interests converge with your study topic. Create good relations with them and have them as your supervisors. After knowing the admission requirements, we now go to step 4, which is doing enough research on the existing scholarships. Here, there are some points to note. You first need to take note of the type of scholarships or eligibility of that scholarship. This will help in the sense that you won't end up applying to scholarships which you even not eligible to. You also need to take note of the deadlines. I'm saying this because you might be meeting all the requirements and just submitting your application a day after will automatically disqualify you. Another thing you need to take note is the requirements, the scholarship requirements. I'm going to mention the scholarship requirements, then I'll explain them one by one. I'm not going to thoroughly explain them because most of the requirements are similar as the admission requirements. I'll just mention them first. General scholarship application requirements include minimum academic qualification, admission letter, statement of purpose, reference letter, concept notes for PhD candidates, and supervisors from the host university for PhD candidates. I'm going to explain scholarship requirements. I'll start with minimum academic qualification requirement. A point you need to note is good performance is a plus when it comes to scholarship applications. For merit-based scholarships, first class honors is the only requirement, and they will always clearly state on the eligibility. The second requirement is statement of purpose or motivational letter. Just as in the admission requirements, an outstanding essay is a plus when it comes to scholarship application. There's a small variation when applying to economic-based scholarship, which are intended to support students from poor backgrounds. Here, you need to paint a picture of a smart student who is unable to bring their goals into realization due to financial problems. Reference letters, concept notes, and supervisors from the host university refer to the explanation in the admission requirements. So, after knowing the requirements for admission application and existing scholarships, we now go to step 5, which is learning and writing of your statement of purpose or motivational letter, and also engaging your supervisors so as to be sure with reference letter acquisition. I'm going to explain the two, and I'll start with learning and writing of your statement of purpose. When it comes to statement of purpose, I'll always repeat mentioning that it's very, very critical when it comes to making application, any admission or scholarship application. You can come up with an outstanding essay by seeking mentorship from scholars who have successfully acquired their scholarships. And actually this worked for me. I used to do a lot of write-ups I could write a lot of essays, then send to different mentors who were advising me. At the end, I came up with a very outstanding statement of purpose which helped me secure my scholarship. From my experience, I used to write a lot of essays and send to a friend who was by then a scholar in the US, and he really was of help to me. Because there's something that you might be thinking you have really nailed it, but they can help you like trim down to most important things. Another thing, you can also search from the internet. You can also go the online way, whereby you go to the blogs and vlogs, because so many people have done a lot on writing an outstanding statement of purpose. When it comes to acquiring your reference letters, always be keen while talking to your referees. You first need to be sure that your referee is willing to support you throughout the journey. After learning how to write a motivational letter and coming up with an outstanding statement of purpose, of course, and also being sure that your referees are going to support you in your journey, you now go to the 6th step, which is the actualization step. In this step, you start making your applications. You'll start with the admission applications first before applying for scholarships. Here, you need to apply to as many universities as possible, because you just don't know which university is going to give you admissions. You need to note that a good and outstanding statement of purpose is very, very critical. After acquiring your admission letters, you now submit your applications to as many scholarships as possible. Please take note that still, an outstanding statement of purpose or motivational letter is very, very critical. I'm sorry I have to mention this as many times as possible, because when it comes to any application pertaining scholarship, you always have to take note of this. Another point to note is this particular step needs a lot of persistence. You may mostly get no's, but never give up. Always keep your head up.
Thank you, guys. In the initial part, you are able to get information on the requirements for getting a scholarship, especially masters and PhD. In addition, for PhD research, you might be required to develop a research proposal or some concept note that tries to outline maybe the problem you want to solve and the research strategy that you are going to use. So usually most scholarships, most but not all, would require that you have a concept note, maybe up to 5 pages or so, just outlining the problem and the objectives and the research strategy. And usually this would also add to probably the criteria for being selected, apart from the motivation statement. And for some PhDs, probably you would be told that you will have to engage or in teaching on probably for 1 semester. And the aim of actually engaging PhD students to at least 1 semester teaching is to prepare them, because you realize that with a PhD you can either go into research or teaching. So this actually helps you to shape your skills in teaching, so that upon completion, should you consider pursuing a teaching profession, then you have a good head start, a good point to start from. All in all, I would say that the secrets to scholarship needs a lot of patience, collaborations, and also networking. So be free to network with people, be free to talk to people who are in the academia, and also especially for the some scholarships like DAAD and others, you find that there are always some regional offices, maybe like in Nairobi and so on. So you can go to those regional offices and probably seek for clarification and get more information. So thank you all and enjoy the process.
A summary of general steps on securing a scholarship. Step 1. You need to be conversant with the things that will lead to a successful application. Step 2. Decide on where you want to pursue your studies in terms of the country and the university. Step 3. Do a thorough search on the admission application procedure. Step 4. Do a thorough search on the existing scholarship opportunities. Step 5. Learn and finally write an outstanding motivational letter. Also engage your referee to be sure of their support. Step 6. The actualization step, which involves making application. Start with the admission application, then finally apply for scholarship. Yay! Important points to note while applying for scholarships include: 1. Have an outstanding statement of purpose or motivational letter. 2. Note the requirements and eligibility of that scholarship. 3. Age limits is very critical. In most cases, 35 years and below for master's degree and 45 years and below for PhD. 4. Make sure you understand the limitation of that particular scholarship. 5. If you're applying for a partial scholarship in a foreign country and you're financially unstable, do enough search on the available work-study options. Guys, I'm hoping this information will be of help to you. I'm very sure if you follow these steps keenly, you will successfully acquire your scholarship. If you have any questions, or maybe you need some clarifications from whatever I've covered, or you also have any other scholarship questions besides whatever I've covered today, feel free to ask in the comment sections, because I'm going to gather all these questions and prepare a question and answer vlog for you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share to as many contacts as possible, because it's not all about me or you, but it's about a friend, a neighbor, a brother, name them, who are in need of this information, because I realize so many people are not well informed on scholarship opportunities. Please like and subscribe. Please subscribe and subscribe and subscribe. Thank you so much for being with me up to this last point, and see you in my next video. I love you. Mwah!